It's day 125.
of the 29th year and beyond. I'm tired.
Yes, I get that.
Whew, okay, but anyway, today at work, while I was trying to tune everybody out, I was listening to a TED Talk. I've listened to it several times before by Brene Brown about vulnerability.
Okay.
And basically, she says vulnerability is the core of shame, fear, our struggle for worthiness, but it appears to also be the birthplace of joy, creativity, and belonging and love.
Okay. I would agree with that.
And she says one of the challenges we numb vulnerability, but you cannot selectively numb emotions. We can't say here's the bad stuff. Here's vulnerability, here's grief, here's shame, here's disappointment. I don't want to feel I don't want to feel that, so I'm just going to have a few beers and then go on. You also numb joy, happiness, love. You numb everything else,
Okay.
gratitude, and you end up being miserable.
Okay.
So what do you think about that?
Your feelings are genuinely yours, and I believe that wisdom says, you know what, I need to embrace and experience whatever it is that I'm feeling, so that I can move through, learn from, and in those opportunities, enjoy.
And it brought me back to a lot of times when I felt vulnerable.
Okay.
I know that after I had John, that was a period that I had a lot of vulnerability, a lot of problems with self issues,
Okay.
and whether or not I was good enough to be a mother.
Okay.
Was I a good mother? Was I a good wife? Was I good at anything? And with all of that, dealing with those emotions, it made sense how I suppressed everything else. You see what I'm saying? I couldn't give you what you needed because I was so busy pushing down those emotions.
And, I believe that it's incredibly important to be able to be introspective, right? To take a real assessment of one and where one is, and however, but you can't live there.
No, definitely.
Right, and that becomes a challenge when people get, particularly in the negative feelings, and they get stuck there, so that they, are not able to fully be present for the experience in its totality. Because even when you're having some of the most challenging opportunities, there can still be some wonderful opportunities if you allow yourself to experience everything.
Yeah. And I just believe, especially as a mother, especially when you're going, or even just as a female, I can only speak for myself because I'm not a male, but when you're going through things, a lot of times you do take those issues, those challenges that you're going through, and it pushes everything. Your ability to be happy and joyful is stifled. It's not that you can't fake it, or even do certain things. It's just that you can't be fully present in the moment because you are suppressing those feelings. And I think vulnerability is one of those emotions that people don't really think about. They don't really discuss. But I know that for myself, when I was listening to it, I was like, oh yeah, I get that.
But I think that when she speaks about vulnerability and the shame and those kinds of things and feeling unworthy, you can lose sight if you just rest there. You can lose sight of the fact that, again, it being the birthplace of joy and belonging and love and all of those other awesome opportunities. Naturally, a lot of folks don't want to ever put themselves in a situation where they feel vulnerable because it represents for a lot of folks weakness or,
Yes.
those kind of negative things. But I believe that in order for there to be real growth, you have to be willing to be vulnerable, because only when you're willing to be vulnerable are you willing to be honest with you.
And that's what she's saying. And that's the biggest challenge, because people aren't willing to be vulnerable. They look at vulnerability as a weakness, as you're a person that can't handle stuff. And that's really what she's saying, that until you're willing to be vulnerable, you can't experience all that stuff, because you can't separate. You see what I'm saying? You can't separate the good with the bad.
When I said wow, I was just like, look at you. You watched the TED Talk and now you're having a Fred Talk. until tomorrow, be willing to be vulnerable
Yes.
because that's the only way we'll truly be able to be honest and have opportunities for growth. Until tomorrow, if the Lord says the same.
Bye.